My name is Sarah and this is my real experience. This event was happen in my apartment. I live with my friend of mine. Her name is Pong. At first everything went smoothly. Nothing happened. But I was always distracted by glimpses of white cloth hanging from my bedroom window. But when I looked the second time, the glimpse was gone. And a few weeks later, when I woke up in the morning, I was shocked to see a human figure hanging from the window. And at that point, Pong was at her boyfriend's house. I had to gather 1,000 strengths to be brave enough to get ready to go to work. I didn't tell Pong about this incident because I was afraid she wouldn't come back. That night, I was startled by a very noisy noise outside my room. I think Pong had a fight with her boyfriend, Jason. I just let it be and continued sleeping. Next morning, I asked Pong if she was alright. Yes, I'm okay. I slept very well, she said. Didn't you quarrel with Jason last night? I asked. She said that maybe I'm dreaming because her boyfriend just went abroad yesterday. I was surprised. So, who was arguing last night? And this situation happens every day at 3 a.m. I just thought maybe the people next to our apartment. One day I accidentally took the elevator with an aunt that also lived there. Just moved in, she asked me. Yes, in the last month, I replied to her. Which floors you're live? She asked again. I said I live at 25th floor. 25? She asking like she not believe what just I said. Yes. Why? I asked. 2525, she asked again for confirmation. Yes. How does aunt know my house number? I asked her. She said the house has been empty for a long time. It's been years. She didn't notice that the house has tenant already. But the ripple on her face seemed to hide something. I said I like the house. It's very comfortable. And close to my workplace before say goodbye to her. An empty house. A hanging woman. The noisy at 3 a.m. These three things bother my mind. But strangely Pong was not disturbed. A few days later, while I was in the elevator to go back, suddenly the electricity supply was cut off and I was stuck on the 14th floor. I pressed the emergency button several times. I also called Pong but the telecommunication network was also gone. I was really very scared at the time and was only able to surrender to God. I was so angry because the maintenance and security of the apartment also did not come. I'm shocked when the elevator rang and strangely it was on the 25th floor. I ran very fast to my apartment because I was so scared. When I arrived at the door, I was confused that the door could not be opened while I had already entered the key. I knocked hard on the door so that Pong could open the door for me. And, suddenly the door opened by its own and I shouted after see Pong. Pong also shouted looking at me like being chased by a ghost. Where did you go? You just said that you're on the way, she asked. I'm trapped in the elevator, why not call me or press the emergency button, she asked. I called you but no network. I also pressed the emergency button, but the security didn't came, I reply to her. When I see the clock, oh my god, I was trapped in elevator for 45 minutes. Tomorrow we will make a complaint to the apartment management. Why they not respond during emergency, she said. That night I was so scared that I slept in Pong room. The next day, we made a complaint. But security said that yesterday, there was no power shortcut and they also did not receive any emergency calls in the elevator. I am not satisfied with the answer. I wanted to see CCTV but unfortunately the management did not allow me to see because my complaint was considered false. The next week, the noise came again. I ran to Pong's room. Pong didn't want to get up, but was shocked when she heard the sound of shattered glass. We looking where the sound came from. Apparently the sound was from my own room. We ran into Pong's room and we hugged together. We so scared. Our bodies trembled. We didn't sleep until in the morning. Pong and I decided to take an emergency leave that day. We both doing a prayers so that we will not disturbed by the ghost again. And, that night was the scariest night for us. Pong sleep in my room. At 3 a.m., our bed was shaken so hard. Everything falls into the floor like an earthquake happens. We get out from my room and run to Pong room. Pong and I hug together. We crying. We are so scared. What's wrong with us? What do you want from us? I shouted loudly. Suddenly, it became quiet. Half an hour later we were shocked to hear the door slam shut. We don't get out from room to see it. We just hope it's not come to Pong room. After that, there was no more noise until morning. We just let the place mess up and go straight to work. On the way home from work, Pong and I stopped at a stall located under the apartment to buy a chicken satay. I asked how long the satay seller had been doing business there. He said it had been 10 years and he also lived in the apartment. I asked again if he knew there was a murder or death incident at the place. At first he said no. But when I said that we were often disturbed by ghosts, then the satay seller opened the story. Here's the story. A few years ago, in our apartment lived a young couple. At first, they were fine. The problems began after this woman was found out that her boyfriend have secret lover who is living on the 14th floor. Every night at 3 a.m., the people who live next to their apartment would be heard they arguing. And, sometimes this woman goes to the 14th floor to attack her boyfriend with her secret lover. And, we started to wonder because there were 2 days we didn't hear any more noise, no more fighting and arguing. We thought the couple had back together. But one day I noticed there was a clock falling right here where I was doing my business. I looked up, but there was nothing. There's just a hanging clothes. But the watch smelled bad. I quickly called the police. And police confirmed that the hanging clock was a woman. Who are live in your apartment? The incident shocked this area. The woman had committed suicide after her boyfriend broke off their relationship. And again, I'm so pity with the woman. She was pregnant at the time. If only the clock hadn't dropped, maybe no one would have known the hanging cloth was a person. Because it is on the 25th floor, when we viewed from below it's not very clear. After we know the story, we understand what has we been going through all this time. And, we are no longer afraid to live there. We are very sorry for what happened to the woman. We performed rituals to calm the woman's spirit so that she could go in peace according to her beliefs. After that, no more disturbances occurred and we stayed for another 4 months after the incident before being transferred to another state. Thank you for listening my true experience. Sarah.